Thank you very much. You know, hanging out in cyberspace is no longer just a pastime for teenagers. Having a website for your whole family or your small business is becoming more and more mainstream, but you know what? There's still guys like me out there who really don't know that much about it. So to get a handle on personal websites and the like, we turn to our computer guy, Dave Hatter. Dave, how you doing?
I'm good, man.
Let's talk about this. More and more families, I am told, are getting a website that involves the whole family. Tell me about that. How does that work?
It's never been cheaper and easier. It really just depends on what you want to do with sites like Facebook and MySpace or even Blogger, depending on the kind of content you want to have and how you want to be interconnected with other people. You know, if you as a family or maybe a small business just want to set up a simple site, and it's primarily going to be text-oriented. Maybe you want to upload some pictures from your vacation or share stuff with family members. A site like Blogger is very simple to use. It's free if you want the most basic version. You can set it up in about 10 minutes. It doesn't require any sort of technical expertise whatsoever. And you're online and able to share information back and forth very easily.
Now, you said Facebook and MySpace. So those are the two, I guess, that are most familiar and most common. When I hear those names, I'm thinking of something. My teenage daughter does it, and that's what I'm thinking that stuff like that is used for. Is this something that's evolving out of that, or will these set up specifically for these sort of things?
That's a great question. It really is. They all sort of fit into the concept of social networks, and there are like business-oriented ones like LinkedIn, which I'm a huge supporter and fan of. You've got Facebook and MySpace and others trying to get into this space, but the whole idea of these sites are it lets you put a page out there and then interact with the page again with requiring very little technical expertise. You can post comments out there, your friends can post comments, and eventually you can get a network of connections of people because they live in the same area as you or share the same kind of interests, and they're easy to find. Just for this, I set up a Facebook. Like I said, I use LinkedIn as a business thing, but I went out and set up a Facebook. It took me about 10 minutes to do this. I can put all this information in there, and increasingly even for business professionals, these are useful because it lets other people find you. It gives you another outlet where someone can get on here, and because they happen to live in Cincinnati or they went to the same college as you or whatever, you can get connected, and it might be the next job or it might be the employee you were looking for or whatever. And again, it's a very simple, non-technical way to share information, whether it's just pictures and comments or whatever. So
in a lot of stuff we heard about small businesses, we don't have a website, it costs so much to get an expert in here to set up a website for us. But now you just go to these sites you're talking about, and after a few minutes, you're up and running.
That's an excellent point, and really it depends on what you want to do. If you want to have your own domain name, like you wanted to register dancarroll.com or whatever, you've got to go somewhere like GoDaddy. GoDaddy is one of the leading internet registrars where you would go and get a domain name, and they'll host a very simple website with some content management tools. So for about $2 a month, you can get yourself set up, have a real simple website, and you'd be able to refer to it by a name. If you don't necessarily care about having your own domain name, maybe it's more of a personal thing or a family thing where you don't care to be the Carrolls or the Hatters or whatever, you could go to like a MySpace or a Facebook, set yourself up for literally no cost whatsoever, and again, have the ability to immediately start sharing information, interacting with other people, sharing photos and so forth, all for little or no money and with very limited expertise.
All right.
It's very simple.
Well, now you can put the computer right there on the kitchen table and have the whole family gather around.
Exactly.
Dave, thank you very much.
My
Good
pleasure.
to see you as
too.
always. Dave Hatter, there's the number of Libertas Technologies. Give him a call. He's got all the answers. Now here's Tricia with